Hi, and welcome to the at-home activity tutorial on shell classification. This activity will only require a few basic materials. What you're going to need are the shells that you're working with, some string, scissors, your nature journal, pencil, tape, ruler, and some note cards. And then you're ready to get started. Okay, now what you're going to do is you're going to look at the properties of your shells. So take out your nature journal and your pencil and label the top of the page shell classification. And then also what I'd like you to do is put the date. Next, what you're going to do is you're going to look at your shells and try to think of some properties that you notice about them. So one general property that I can do to put them into different categories is color. And I'm just going to give a couple examples. I might have brown, white, multicolored, and even one that has some red on it. And let me just give you one other property. It's kind of a basic property, but is it a bivalve or a gastropod, or in the vernacular, snail? So that's just two samples, but you can keep going. I'd like you to try to get at least 5 properties if you can. Once you've written down some properties, it's time now to create what we call a Venn diagram. And a Venn diagram is a way to sort and classify your shells by attribute. And the great thing about the activity that we're going to do is that you can scale it to different ages of learner, all the way from beginners to much more sophisticated folks. So what I want you to do first is I want you to take string and cut 3-foot length pieces, 3 of them. And each piece, I want you to use your tape to tape it so that you then create circles. And I've got one sample circle here, and we're going to start with a 1-circle example of a Venn diagram. And this is ideal for the younger learners. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to set this up as a game, and you're going to need a partner. One person is the guide and the other person is the player. So let's get started.
So this is Kelly over here. I'm going to be the guide. So the guide needs an index card and a piece of paper. On the index card, you're going to write one of the attributes of the shells that you identified in your nature journal. I'll go ahead and do that now. And then you hide that from your partner. This is basically so you can remember the attribute you chose. It doesn't really matter right now, but as you get more sophisticated with this game, you're going to want to have that index card. All right, Sue, this is how we play this game. This is a circle, and inside the circle, I want you to try to put all the shells that follow my rule, okay? So you'll take one shell at a time, place it in the circle, and I will tell you if it follows my rule or doesn't follow my rule. You can guess what my rule is at any time, and if you get it wrong, you'll just keep guessing. Sound good?
Okay.
Let's give it a try.
All right. So I'm going to put a shell in.
That does not follow my rule.
All right. I'll take it out.
That shell doesn't follow my rule. That shell does follow my rule.
All right. So I can think maybe color, maybe it's clam. I'm not sure yet. So I'll keep going.
That does not follow my rule. That one does follow my rule.
Huh. Wonder if it has to do with the color. Let me try one more and see what I get.
That does follow my rule.
Okay, Kelly, I'm going to guess that it's the color white is your attribute.
Let's see. It's white. Nice job, Sue.
Hey, thanks. Now we're ready to play the second level of this game. And for that, you're going to need 2 overlapping strings, circles. And this is going to be the middle, which means that shells in this area are going to have both properties. One property here, one property there. So let's get started on that.
Okay, this is Kelly again, and I'm the guide. So you'll need, for this one, 2 index cards and a pencil. On each index card, you're going to write one property that will serve as the rule for each of these 2 circles. I'll do that now. As you write your rule, place it face down right outside the circle. Face down outside the circle that it is the rule for. It'll be important because you're probably going to want to peek and make sure you know which rule is for which circle. Okay, Sue, you're going to use your shells and you're going to place them in each of these 3 sections. You're going to try to figure out what the rule for this circle is, what the rule for this circle is, and what this combined rule is in the center. Give it a go. That follows my rule. That does not follow my rule. That does not follow my rule. That does not follow my rule. Great, put it right outside of all the circles. That does not follow my rule. That follows my rule. That does not follow 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 my rule. That does follow my rule. That does not follow my rule. That does not follow my rule. That follows my rule. That follows my rule. That does not follow my rule. That does not follow my rule. That does not follow my rule.
Okay, Kelly, I'm going to try to guess.
Okay, Sue.
One thing I noticed is in this property, all of them seem to have these radiating ribs that come from a center point. All 3 of these. What I notice in this circle are that they're all white. These don't have either of those properties, but this one has both, and that's in the middle circle.
Let's see if you're right. Yep, that's the radiating ribs rule. And this is the white rule. And the one that made it in the middle is both white and it has radiating ribs. Nice work, Sue.
Hey, thanks. We're now ready to do the 3rd level of the game, which is really for more sophisticated learners. So let me explain how you set up your circles. You're going to have 3 circles. 1, 2, 3. And they're going to overlap so that you actually have segments in the middle where you would have 2 overlapping here in each of these sections. And then 1 in the middle, which is the overlap of all 3 circles. So this makes it for a much more complicated exercise. So let's get started on this one.
Hi, it's Kelly. So for this round, I've already pre-written the rules on the index card, and I'm going to lay them once again face down next to the circle that they go with. And you'll notice that I'm going to have to look almost every single time because I just put them down and I have no idea what the rules are. I'm going to forget for the first half of this game. So let's get started. Go ahead, Sue.
Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a shell in one circle on the outside part.
That follows my rule.
Oh.
That does not follow my rule. That does not follow my rule. That follows my rule.
Okay, so now I've got both of these. I'm wondering if I don't know whether or not either of these fill in one of these gaps. So I'm going to go ahead and just start working on that and see if they share.
And this is real hard for me too, because now I have to check and see if that follows both the rules, and that does not follow my rule in that section.
Okay, so it can't fill that one because if it doesn't follow that, it's no way it can fill that. So
okay, so for that, I'm going to check if it follows this rule, which yes, it does. And it does follow that rule as well. So that follows my rule.
Okay, so I'm just thinking right now that maybe there's white involved in here. So I'm going to put a white one over here just to see if that works.
That follows my rule.
Okay. What about, I'm thinking still it might be white.
That does not follow my rule.
Okay, what about over here?
That follows my rule.
All right. What about, I'm thinking maybe if it's a white and it's a snail shell, it would go here. I'm just going to guess and see if that works.
That does not follow my rule.
Okay, so I'm going to leave it back where it is. So that's not the attribute that I thought maybe I should be looking at. All right, let me just try over here.
That follows my rule.
Oh, okay. Now this one and this one have some similarities. I'm going to put that one right there and see what happens.
And let me just check and make sure I remember what this rule is. I do. That follows my rule.
Oh, then I'm wondering, could it potentially go in there?
Could it go in there? That does not follow my rule.
Okay, so I'm going to put it back here. So this is good though, that because it appears that, I don't know, it has the same kind of ribbing and stuff on this. Although, I don't know. I'm going to have to try another one. I guess I'll put this one here because they're kind of similar in color.
Let me check what my rule was. Yep, that follows my rule.
Okay, so I was right at, what about there?
Let's make sure I know what that one is. Okay, that follows my rule.
Okay. Not sure what that could possibly be. Well, what about in the middle?
Let me just double check and actually triple check on all these rules and see. So yeah, let's look what this one is. That follows my rules.
Oh my goodness, I got one in the middle. So now I've got to start thinking, what about this shell? Because it actually has all three attributes that would fit this. So first I think, like, what is common in these four shells? And that is something, I was first thinking maybe the radiating, because they all three of these have ribs, but this one doesn't. These two are kind of smooth. These are rough. They're not the right colors. Huh. All of these, though, look like they are bivalves, and these are not. So that might be what I have going on there. Not sure what this is, though. Let me just put another one in there. I just want to see what happens.
And I'm checking just to make sure I give you the right information. That follows my rule.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What about this one? I'll put that one in there.
That does not follow my rule.
Okay. What about, does it go there?
That does not follow my rule.
There?
That follows my rule.
Oh, okay. Okay, so now what I'm noticing is that all of these are brown. So I'm going to think that maybe these are brown. This is clams. So I need to figure out what this other one is. I'm not quite sure yet.
That does not follow my rule.
Okay, so this I'm thinking now probably fits over here.
That follows my rule.
Okay, so I'm okay on that. It seems to me that this might, these kind of seem a little similar, but.
That follows my rule.
Okay, so now I'm thinking, if I were to guess, I'm thinking that this one probably goes here because these are all clams. Maybe.
That follows my rule.
Okay. And this one is bumpy. Now, one thing I'm noticing is that these are all kind of smooth, but it's not brown and it's not a clam. I'm actually going to put that one outside.
Yep, that follows my rule.
Oh, okay. And then this one, it's a little bit bumpy also. It's not, I think I'm going to put that one on the outside too.
That follows my rule. Now, Sue, I'm going to tell you that I have one shell, in my opinion, that is not placed quite correctly enough. I'm going to identify that one and I want you to refine it. Okay. This one is not quite correctly placed. It does follow the rule in that area, but can you get it more refined? Well,
I guess this might be considered brown. So maybe Kelly's thinking that's brown. So I'm going to put that over here instead.
That follows my rule.
Okay. So I'm going to guess then that this was brown. This is clams. And these are all smooth.
So I didn't call it clams. I called it bivalve, but yep. And smooth. Nice job, Sue.
All right.
And so, this is a really like a nuanced thing. She asked if it followed my rule here, which it does. And remember back in the beginning, Sue articulated that she was going to try to guess on the outside and then she was going to refine. So if you're at the end of the round and you want to say this doesn't follow my rule there, or you can say it almost follows my rule, and then they would know to get a little more granular with that. But yeah,